Downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, John Mercure and Julia Fello.
All right, good afternoon. Tough one for the Crew. They take it on the chin, 8-0 in Chicago. They did win 2 out of 3 against the White Sox.
I know. I wish they would have swept.
Yes, me too. And now they come home and they face the Cubs coming up this weekend. All right, here's what we're tracking on this Thursday.
This is the 3 at 3 on Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
Number 1, John, this has to do with the U.S. Postal Carrier. So she was delivering mail like she always did last September, and she heard her passenger side window shatter and pain in her arms. Turns out that someone was saying, "Get away from my box, leave my mail alone."
Whoa.
He was using a shotgun, drunk,
Oh my
and
gosh.
convicted, and hurt her. She survived, amazingly. Now this man, 44 years old, knows better, Benjamin Juice. He was sentenced to 18 months in prison, also ordered to pay more than $10,000 in restitution to the victim because she spent time in the hospital. This happened again last year in Shawano County.
You could have killed her. That is terrifying.
Yes. He said that he had, 4 to 5 whiskey and Cokes
Oh my gosh.
before the incident.
That's a terrible story. Another shooting, this one in Oconomowoc. It involves a sandhill crane. That's our second in the 3 at 3. An Oconomowoc police officer shot and killed a sandhill crane after neighbors reported it was damaging property and vehicles repeatedly. So they complained to the DNR. The DNR says there's nothing we can really do. They contacted U.S. Wildlife, who issued a permit to shoot and kill the bird.
Oh, okay.
USDA says these birds cannot be relocated. They will always come back. They won't survive if they're relocated. So the DNR and U.S. Wildlife agreed that a permit to shoot and kill the bird should happen. And just 3 days ago, the bird was shot and killed after repeatedly damaging several vehicles and several different residences in the area. They say that some cranes stay year-round. They get too comfortable, and this is what happens. But people are outraged. People are really sad that the endangered bird was shot and killed.
Yes. Number 3, John, Culver's. You can enjoy a $1 scoop of custard for Scoops of Thanks Day. Today, it's supporting the FFA, Future Farmers of America.
Nice.
So they said that last year when they did this, they served more than 170,000 scoops.
Whoa.
Yeah. And they raised $6.5 million through this project. Over $1 million comes from previous Scoops of Thanks Day fundraisers.
That is really cool. So that's a nice little dessert. Or maybe on the way home, I might stop and not even tell Michelle.
Yes,
Just get
it
some
will
custard.
support educational programs for future farmers.
I love it. That is absolutely fantastic. Coming up during the 4 o'clock hour, Tom Dakin, the Journal Sentinel guy, on what happened with the Kohl's CEO. It's big-time news. The CEO is out. And also, Paul Fello talking about his recovery from cancer. Paul Fello is with us. By the way, receiving a big award. We'll do that coming up at 4:45. It is 4 o'clock.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
I'm John Mercure. This is Wisconsin's Afternoon News. Your top story out as CEO of Kohl's.
I'm Julia Fello, marching for workers' rights.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. We've got problems. 894 westbound at Loomis, or just before Loomis. Well, they're saying all the lanes are blocked. I'm seeing 2 lanes, left lanes blocked with a crash. So that's making for a nasty ride back through the Mitchell interchange. So watch for that. We've also got a crash eastbound 94 just past 25th Street. That one's off on the right shoulder, and folks are getting past it without too much of an issue. Southbound 43 backing up from Capitol Drive all the way through the Marquette down towards the KK River crossing. Northbound is backing up just before Fond du Lac Avenue up towards Keith. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight, it's going to be cloudy, a low of 43. Tomorrow, cloudy, a high of 54. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, after only 4 months on the job, the new CEO of Kohl's is out. Ashley Buchanan was fired, but not because of anything to do with the company's financial performance.
The Wall Street Journal says Buchanan was terminated because of a highly unusual business deal he made with a woman who he was once romantically linked to. Wall Street Journal says the woman is the CEO of Incredibrew, a coffee brand infused with vitamins, and she signed a multi-million-dollar consulting agreement with Kohl's with unusually favorable terms. Now, Kohl's says Buchanan was fired for violating company policies. Board member Michael Bender is interim CEO, effective immediately. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
Tom Dakin will join us. He broke the story. He's with us coming up at 4:15.
The city of Franklin mayor is saying that he is innocent amid misconduct allegations during his time as a police lieutenant in the town of Waterford. Several female officers have accused him of sexual harassment. It prompted an investigation. Former town chair Terry Gendusa Nikolai says that she stands by the town's decision to suspend him.
I would just say that the transcripts speak for themselves. You have numerous officers who were interviewed, and they said what they said.
Nelson says that he plans to file a lawsuit seeking answers as to why he was placed on leave.
President Trump's decision to oust Mike Waltz as national security advisor has created a shift within the Trump cabinet.
CBS News national security analyst Jeff McCausland says President Trump wants to send Mike Waltz to the UN and have Secretary of State Marco Rubio take over as interim national security advisor.
Only a time since the establishment of a national security advisor, which was part of the National Security Act of 1949, that we had someone dual-hatted.
Secretary Rubio also oversees the National Archives and is the acting director of the U.S. Agency for International Development, all of which, says McCausland, are very difficult, time-consuming positions. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
The Arkansas man accused of abducting a pregnant Beaver Dam teenager bound for trial, 40-year-old Gary Day, extradited from Nebraska after he was found with now 17-year-old Sophia Franklin at an Omaha truck stop. The pair had been missing since February. There were Amber Alerts issued. He's believed to be the father of Franklin's unborn child. Day faces 4 felony charges of child abduction and enticement. His arraignment is set for June.
A federal judge blocking the deportations of Venezuelans in South Texas by the Trump administration under the Alien Enemies Act. The Hill's Alex Gangitano.
He basically went as far as to say this is unlawful because the Alien Enemies Act can only take place if there are, boots on the ground, or there is a force coming after the United States.
The ruling came as part of a lawsuit brought by 3 Venezuelan men who claim they are not members of a gang.
The recent arrest of a circuit court judge in Milwaukee County on the mind of workers' rights marchers downtown today.
Thousands taking to the streets of Milwaukee on May Day and showing solidarity with recently arrested Milwaukee County Judge Hannah Dugan. Voces de la Frontera Executive Director Christine Newman-Ortiz.
We are here to demand the Milwaukee County Circuit Court Judge Hannah Dugan, who has been targeted for upholding the Constitution, that the charges against her be dropped.
A protest is planned outside the Milwaukee Federal Courthouse May 15th when Judge Dugan is set to return to court. In Milwaukee, Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Coming up, those golden arches aren't so shiny right now.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 4:05.
Bev Anderson has a big idea she wants to share.
Bev has been here for 24 years.
Hi, Bev. We're anxious to hear your idea.
Kessler's is 45 years old this year. Monica, remember when your dad used to say in every radio ad, "I'm Richard Kessler, and I want to be your jeweler"?
I never got to hear that.
Yeah, and then Rick would say,
Kessler's Diamonds, inconveniently located on Appleton Avenue, Menominee Falls.
Inconveniently?
Richard said it was inconvenient for people to have to drive all the way to Menominee Falls, so he might as well admit it.
Bev, tell us your idea.
Richard said something else in almost every ad, and I think we should start saying it again because it's really important.
Tell us.
We do diamonds better because diamonds are what we do.
I love that.
Fantastic idea, Bev.
Kessler's Diamonds.
We do diamonds better because diamonds are what we do.
For the location nearest you, visit Kessler'sDiamonds.com.
The deeper the hole, the more damage you're going to cause, especially if you're driving around with low tire pressure.
We're talking about potholes, and if you're not careful, they'll spring up out of nowhere and bite you right in the keister.
We've fixed broken ball joints, broken control arms, blown struts, damaged wheel alignments.
You name it, we've fixed it. That wheel alignment is an adjustment of your suspension, which is a system that connects your car to its wheels.
And when your alignment's off, you get uneven, premature tire wear, and we have a fix for that too.
If a pothole is bitten you where it hurts, come to Richlands for a professional evaluation by one of our ASE certified technicians.
And at the very least, we'll make sure you have the right amount of air pressure in your tires.
And remember, be safe, buckle up, and hey, always make sure you've got good tread on your tires. I'm Brett Matchke with Richlands, your
Duel for Service.
Since 1964, we've changed your tires and so much more. Richlands Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richlands.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 4:07.
The Golden Arches were tarnished in the first quarter. CBS Jason Brooks.
McDonald's sustained its biggest sales decline since the COVID outbreak in 2020, with comparable sales dropping 3.6% in the first quarter compared to a year earlier. CEO Chris Kepczynski told McDonald's earnings call that middle-income consumer traffic fell nearly as much as lower-income consumer traffic, which was down double digits for the second straight quarter. Wall Street analysts, however, are not panicking, with an Evercore ISI client note saying that McDonald's sales trends in the U.S. stabilized in March and rapidly accelerated in April thanks to the chain's Minecraft movie meal promotion.
McDonald's expects to open 1,800 new restaurants globally this year.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. Sports Desk. The Brewers lose to the White Sox 8-0, but they do take the series 2-1. They now head home for a 3-game weekend series with the Cubs starting tomorrow night. And playoff hockey returns to Milwaukee tonight with the Admirals hosting the Rockford Ice Hogs. Game 1 of the Central Division semifinals. The puck drops at 7 o'clock at Milwaukee Panther Arena.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 4:08.
I'm Libby Collins. This week, we talk with filmmaker Michael Jarr about a compelling documentary he's made, The Joshua Glover Story.
Joshua Glover had been arrested. Sherman Booth goes over to the jail and tries to find out if this is true. Then he gets on a horse and rides through the downtown streets of Milwaukee like Paul Revere, calling people to turn out and telling them that a man's liberty is at stake.
WTMJ Conversations, Sunday mornings at 11 on WTMJ.
He's going to fire up a three for the win, and he hit it! Game time has arrived! Lobs to Giannis, who flushes it in with one hand. Lillard, three-pointer for the lead! It's game time! Green going to fire up a three from the top of the arc, and he sends the ball no line. Takes it down the lane. He'll lay it in with another foul. Oh, baby! The Greek freak is unleashed.
The sound of the Bucks is here on the home of the Bucks, WTMJ. Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, John Mercure and Julia Fello.
4:09 on WTMJ. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Boy, I wish that outcome was better with the Brewers versus the White Sox.
Yeah, it was a stinker at the end, that's for sure. But they're home tomorrow.
Yes, redemption.
Against the other Chicago team, so let's go.
Okay, so I wanted to tell you about these new connections to the Madison school shooter and others planning attacks in their own hometowns.
Yes.
There's more and more people connected, like a web of people who are talking online. 15-year-old Natalie Rupnow, if you don't know, she shot and killed 2 people back in December and hurt 2 others at Abundant Life Christian School in Madison. Federal agents found that she was talking to other people online, plotting their own shootings, including, this is new, a 22-year-old Florida man who police say looked like he was set up for war. That's what they said in the news conference. He was arrested in Palm Beach County for threatening a mass shooting and impersonating a law enforcement officer. They found his plans to attack by impersonating a sheriff's deputy.
Oh, boy.
And he had multiple outfits. So investigators were able to track him down. They saw messages between Rupnow, who's dead, and him on TikTok, on her account, about carrying out mass shootings. And there was a love story behind it.
What?
There was a message saying, "We go down together," he said. She replied, "Correct. I love you." And he replied, "I love you more."
This is the 22-year-old Florida guy and Rupnow?
Yeah, the 15-year-old who did shoot up her school.
Yeah.
And then took her own life, killing 2 others in the process. Damian Blade Allen, that's his name, caught with 18 firearms, 12,000 rounds of ammunition, body armor, multiple police uniforms, like I said. The Madison shooter also wrote to him that she wanted to shoot up a black church. That's when Damian Blade Allen replied he had several places in mind. Here's the Palm Beach County Sheriff.
There's no doubt in my mind they have stopped a mass shooting that was going to happen. This guy was ready to go, had all the equipment, had the propensity to do it. It's just a matter of what day was going to set him off to go do it.
So we saw writings of Rupnell that were released of very racist parts of her manifesto, but the court records in this guy's case, in his charges, reveals more about 15-year-old Natalie Rupnell's manifesto. It's 6 pages long. It was found in the 15-year-old's bedroom after the deadly school shooting, had racist and derogatory language towards black people, detailed research on mass shooters that she admired, quote unquote, and she manipulated her father, in her manifesto, she said, into purchasing firearms that she would use in school shooting that eventually killed 2 people.
Disgusting.
So there were other connections as well, including the California man who exchanged disturbing messages with her as well. It's 20-year-old Alexander Pfaffendorf. He was in the headlines just the other day, this week. He is now banned under the state's red flag law, gun red flag law in California. He's cannot have any guns or ammunition for 3 years.
He has not been charged, right? We know he had contact with Rupnell. Has he been charged?
No, he's not charged with any crime, is not expected to be. But he did say that he was looking at a few government buildings and never did anything about it. He did apologize in court, but I mean...
Yeah, I remember he expressed remorse at having contact with her.
That's insane.
That is crazy.
I hope
These
they're
connections from coast to coast.
Yes.
That is nuts. It is 4:13 at WTMJ. You may have seen the headline today. The Kohl's CEO is out. I think Ashley Buchanan was the 4th leader at Kohl's in like 4 years. Ashley Buchanan is out. It's controversial. We've got the story. Tom Dakin has some of the very interesting details. He's with us up next.
Hi, folks. This is Hank Albert, owner of BBC Lighting. At BBC, we sell all the top brands of lights and ceiling fans, such as Visual Comfort, Tech, Schoenbeck Crystal, and hundreds more. We get every brand, and our prices are the lowest. I guarantee it. In our award-winning showroom, you'll also find factory closeouts with lights and fans priced well below their original cost. If it's lampshades or repairs you need, we do all that too. There's something for everyone at BBC, including fun for the kids and our famous free popcorn. We're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, Saturday, 10 to 4, and located at 20th and St. Paul Avenue, across from Sobelman's, near the Potawatomi Casino. Stay safe and healthy, my friends.
Wherever you are in Wisconsin, there's a free and confidential Aging and Disability Resource Center, ADRC, or Tribal Partner Agency. We're here for older adults, adults with disabilities, and your families. ADRCs are a bridge to support for benefits and financial assistance, transportation, in-home care, and more. Get to know your local ADRC and connect with resources today. Call toll-free 1-844-WIS-ADRC or go to findmyadrc.org. Paid for by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
All right, so you've seen the story. It's about the Kohl's CEO. We will tell that story coming up in just a minute. First, let's check those roads. Debbie Lonzaga, how's our ride rolling?
Well, it is a little bit on the slow side, depending on where you are. Specifically, 894 westbound, right? Just before Loomis, we've got the left 2 lanes blocked with a crash. I am seeing 2 lanes going through to get around it, so just be careful. We do have backups all the way back to the airport spur, so that's something to keep in mind. Southbound 43 backing up from just south of Capitol Drive down through the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge down towards Beecher. Northbound is slowing down from Kilbourne all the way up to Keefe. Westbound 94, you got your backups there from 13th Street all the way through to about Hawley Road. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a low of 43 degrees. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, a high of 54. Setting us up for a nice weekend, a great week, actually. Saturday, mostly sunny, a high of 59. A little warmer inland. On Sunday, mostly sunny, a high of 66. A little warmer inland. On Monday, partly cloudy, a high of 67 degrees. Right now, it is cloudy and 51. So Kohl's has fired their CEO, Ashley Buchanan, after finding conflicts of interest. Only in office for like 4 months, literally, is gone. I read about it in Tom Dakin's reporting in the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. We had the chance to catch up with Tom earlier today. I woke up this morning and read your reporting, and I was stunned to see that Kohl's has fired their CEO, Ashley Buchanan. They say he was fired because he violated company policies by directing Kohl's to, quote, engage in vendor transactions that involved undisclosed conflicts of interest. My question for you, I know you've been looking into this. What does that mean, as best as we know it? What does that mean?
It means as CEO of a company, you have a fiduciary duty to that publicly traded company. You're supposed to do everything in the interest of the shareholders. If you're having the company, in this case Kohl's, do business with a vendor that is a vendor in which you as CEO have an interest in, and you don't tell the other people at the company, namely your bosses, the board of directors, about it, that's usually going to be a violation of a company policy. It's just a violation in general of good corporate governance. I mean, sometimes CEOs engage in self-dealing and they disclose it. I don't know if that makes it a good idea or not, but at least by disclosing it to their board, they can make it clear and transparent, and the board can decide whether it's something that they feel is a good idea or not. Now, I would add, we now know, based on the Wall Street Journal's reporting, that the vendor in question was one run by a romantic partner of Ashley Buchanan.
No.
So you can see the obvious. You can see the obvious conflict of interest in that one as well.
So to clarify, even if that was the best vendor price-wise or choice-wise for Kohl's, the issue here is that he didn't disclose it. If he would have went to the board and said, look, yeah, I maybe have an interest here, but this is the best for us as a company, that would have been different. Is that a fair assessment as best as we know it?
That's a fair assessment. And by the way, you aren't the only person surprised by this. This caught everyone by surprise. No one was expecting that the guy hired on January 15th, that was his first day on the job, would be fired on April 30th, particularly for this reason. And this comes at just a terrible time for Kohl's. We've written, my colleague, Ricardo Torres in particular, normally would be covering this. He's off today. Ricardo, if you're listening, we'll chat later. But he's done a lot of reporting, as of other people, on the travails at Kohl's that go back for years now, where they've just recently, in the March, reported their final quarter, which included the holiday shopping season, declining profits, declining sales. So Ashley Buchanan came in as the guy they hoped would turn that situation around, and now he's gone, and they have to find someone else to be CEO. I would add one other thing hanging over all this is retailers like Kohl's are facing the possibility of an economic slowdown tied to President Trump's trade wars. When you put tariffs on goods coming from China, such as the clothing, shoes, and toys and other items that are sold at Kohl's and other retailers, you raise the price of those items, consumers notice, and they may respond by buying fewer items, which then puts pressure on the profit margins of those retailers.
Well, when I looked this morning, Kohl's stock was up a little bit more than 5%. So was it the SEC that discovered this relationship that was a conflict of interest?
No, it was the company itself. They did an investigation, discovered it, and then proceeded to fire Mr. Buchanan. It was disclosed to the SEC with a filing that was made today. That's how we found out about it. That's a public document. Side note to all your listeners, public records and public documents are how you find out about things like this that are going on. And boy, anytime you see any public official of any party saying we ought to close off those public records, that should set off a red flag.
Wow. Do we know Do we know more about this romantic relationship?
Honestly, it wasn't my reporting. It was the Wall Street Journal that uncovered it. I believe they said that they knew each other from when they both worked at Walmart several years ago, and that's about all I can say at this point.
Tom Dakin is with us on WTMJ. Tom, before this first quarter, before tariffs, before Trump came into office, why has Kohl's struggled in this space for the last couple of years? What have been the stumbling blocks?
Well, Amazon, of course, plays a big role in all of this. I guess I would ask everyone listening to this, if you shop at Kohl's, how does your shopping level compare now compared to, say, 5 or even 10 years ago? And how does your purchase through Amazon.com and other online retailers compare in that same period? And I think most of us would say, gee, I am shopping less at Kohl's. I am shopping more by buying goods through Amazon. That's part of the problem. And I think the other thing is just sort of some merchandising issues that Kohl's has run into where they've kind of gone back and forth on their strategy of what kind of goods to emphasize, not emphasize. I think they've had a great hit with the Sephora, the in-store cosmetic counters that they've added. some other things that they've done in recent years under some of Buchanan's predecessors have not worked out as well, unfortunately.
So we will now have the fourth leader of Kohl's in 4 years, or almost 5 years, at a time that the store continues to struggle. How difficult is it for the street to absorb when a company keeps going through new leaders like this?
The Baird analyst who covers Kohl's did put out a report today about this and acknowledged that obviously an unexpected change in leadership, to use his wording, that raises, kind of an overhang over everything else that we've been discussing. It's not a good thing. You don't want to fire your CEO for any reason so quickly after hiring that person. It also might, again, raise a challenge of finding the best possible person to replace him in that position. We should point out for now it's being done on an interim basis by the person who was the board chair, Michael Bender, and he will serve in that role until a permanent replacement is found.
So Buchanan's compensation package was much more than the previous person before them. Your reporting is it exceeded $20 million. Do we know if he got a severance package, if he got a parachute, how he's leaving the company?
We're going to keep an eye on those Securities and Exchange Commission filings, and hopefully those public documents will shed some more light on that situation.
I guess the last thing I'd want to ask you is, Tom, paint the picture of how important Kohl's is to Southeast Wisconsin.
Oh, well, I think as anyone would guess, it's very important actually to the whole state. It's one of the largest companies based in Wisconsin. It ranks up on the Fortune 500 and the 200s, I think maybe 235th, if I remember correctly, from last June. It has about 4,000 employees in the Milwaukee area. And yeah, it's the company that very much people, particularly in the Milwaukee area, want to see remain healthy and we hope thriving.
All right, that is Tom Dakin. Tom, thank you very much for the input. By the way, any segment on the show that you want to check out, you can check out the podcast page. Text the word WAN, W-A-N, to 855-616-1620. Our podcasts are sponsored by Dave Drakamp Heating. Your comfort is their family's tradition. Let's check out the markets. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Another up day. It was up big today, and then it settled down a little bit, but it did close up. The NASDAQ actually was up pretty decent, 264 points on the day. That's 1.5%. The S&P was up 35 points. That is more than 0.5% on the day. The Dow Jones was up 84 points. That's 0.2%. Dave Spano, the guy in charge of Annex, will join us tomorrow at 4:45 and walk us through this roller coaster week for the markets. It's financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Know the difference with Annex.
When you want the best medical attention, you don't just go to anybody, you go to a specialist. The same should be true with your car or truck. I'm Jim Token, president of the Auto Dealers Association of Metro Milwaukee. When your vehicle needs service, take it to a specialist, an Adam member new car dealer. Adam dealers use factory-warranted parts, the latest diagnostic equipment, and certified manufacturer technicians specially trained on the advanced technology on your vehicle. They have all the latest manufacturer service bulletins and will know if your issue is covered by an existing warranty or if there are any recalls. And despite what you might assume, their prices are as low or lower than independent shops, even on routine maintenance and tires. Now, knowing all that, why would you even consider going anywhere other than an Adam member dealer?
For great paying job opportunities, visit adam.com. That's ADAMM.com.
Hey boaters, cruise to Kendall Marine. We've got everything you need but the water. Got an old boat, a new boat in between. Kendall Marine, upholstery and parts, hard to find things. Kendall Marine. Hey boaters, cruise to Kendall Marine. We've got everything you need but the water. Everything you need but the water. Hey boaters, cruise to Kendall Marine. We've got everything you need but the water. Like a boat-loving kid in a candy store. Kendall Marine. If you have a question, we have the expertise at Kendall Marine. Hey boaters, cruise to Kendall Marine. We've got everything you need but the water.
Easy to find at 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin or at KendorMarine.com.
Tune in to Wisconsin's Midday News with Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
The Trump administration says it has not violated a court order, defending some deportations in a new court filing.
Bringing you the latest in news, sports, traffic, and weather.
Packers president and CEO Mark Murphy tells WTMJ he credits the city for landing the draft and the developments just to the north of Lambeau Field.
Every weekday from noon until 3 p.m. Only on WTMJ.
I've got a fantastic trip that I'm planning right now. I'd love for you to be with us. It's America's Music Cities for the holidays. It's early December. It's an 8-day tour of some great spots. New Orleans, Memphis, and Nashville. Check out New Orleans, the vibrant French Quarter, all decked out for the holidays. Then we're on to the amazing city of Memphis, Elvis Presley's Graceland. It is going to look absolutely fantastic. On to Nashville, we make chocolate, take a horse-drawn carriage ride, and we stay at the magical Opryland Resort. It's with Colette, the travel company I trust. We'll handle all the details for you: flights, meals, hotels, local experiences. I'm going to be there. I want you to be with us. Send me an email. I send you the information. John@WTMJ.com. John@WTMJ.com. Space is limited. We'll discover America's musical legacy wrapped in dazzling lights and seasonal decor. Let me get you the info. I'd love for you to be with us. John, John, @WTMJ.com. It's America's Music Cities with Colette, the travel company I trust.
Great impressions will exceed your expectations. Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
At Great Impressions Graphics and Printing, they've been proudly serving the community for over 26 years. From their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh in Milwaukee, their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design. Great Impressions offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, and postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing, perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit greatimpress.com. That's greatimpress.com. Great Impressions. They're here when you need them.
Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
Point taken with Scafidi and Bride.
Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth doesn't meet the basic requirements for leading Department of Defense.
At the Easter roll yesterday on the White House lawn, had a reaction.
See, this is what the media does. They take anonymous sources from disgruntled former employees. So I'm happy to be here at the Easter egg roll with my dad and my kids.
So his kids were there. His oldest kid at one point kind of goes wide-eyed of like, oh man, dad is losing it.
Weekdays from 10 to noon on WTMJ. Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 4:30. I'm John Mercure. Your top story: the job is open for CEO of Kohl's.
I'm Julia Fello. The latest Doge cuts hits Mercure.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. That earlier accident on 894 westbound just before Loomis, looks like they got that one cleared up. Delays are still kind of there. It's going to be slow coming out from just past the airport spur through the Mitchell. So just give yourself a little more extra time. Northbound 43 is slowing down through the Marquette very heavily all the way up to about Keefe. Southbound from Keefe all the way down through to the KK River. We've also got westbound 94 slowing down from before the Marquette all the way to Hawley Road. Eastbound slowing down coming out of the Stadium interchange to about 27. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Slight chance of showers, low of 43. Tomorrow, more scattered showers possible, a high of 54. Right now, it's cloudy in Milwaukee at 50 degrees.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, Kohl's has fired its new CEO, Ashley Buchanan, with cause. Buchanan is accused of violating company policies by directing the company to engage in vendor transactions that involved undisclosed conflicts of interest. The reports are they were with his romantic interest. Kohl's has appointed Michael Bender as interim CEO. That's effective immediately. Buchanan served in the CEO position for just 4 months.
In Franklin,
I have no issue taking responsibility for my actions. I can't take responsibility for something that I didn't do.
the city's mayor maintains his innocence against multiple misconduct allegations during his time as a police lieutenant in the town of Waterford.
Mayor John Nelson addressing several misconduct allegations in front of a full house at the Franklin Public Library Wednesday.
If you had a problem with me, If you had a problem with anyone else, why wasn't it brought forth prior?
Mayor Nelson mentioned former Waterford Town Chair Terry Jandusa Nicolai multiple times by name during the meeting. She addressed those mentions afterwards.
I think people who know me know my entire life I've always had a great fondness for all law enforcement. Never in a million years would I ever think I'd be in the spot that I was put in.
In Franklin, Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
2 people are dead, including a 17-year-old, after a crash overnight in Milwaukee during a police pursuit. The fleeing driver led police on a chase, ending in a crash with an uninvolved car on the city's north side. A 17-year-old and an unidentified person in the first car died at a hospital. 3 people in the second vehicle were treated on the scene. The driver of the fleeing car is now in custody.
Taking on lead dust in Milwaukee public schools means more than just lead remediation.
We need to conduct lead stabilization using certified personnel. Again, that could be some internal and external supports to help us with this work. We also know that we need to isolate work areas during renovation.
Starm's Early Childhood Center and La Follette School remain closed for lead cleanup. Brown Street School and Westside Academy will close in the next few weeks.
A lawsuit over funding cuts to Americorps.
Wisconsin is one of 24 states suing the Trump administration and the Department of Government Efficiency over an end to grant funding for volunteer services programs. AmeriCorps' programs in Wisconsin include tutoring, conservation, library services, and support for homeless youth. In Milwaukee, the cuts have led to the termination of the Milwaukee Justice Center's Courthouse Navigator program, which assisted visitors by providing directions and information within the courthouse. The cuts could end services at over 300 sites across the state. Elizabeth Linton, WTMJ News.
New details about the deadly car crash into a daycare center in central Illinois earlier this week. Police say the driver of the car may have had a medical emergency. His car barreled through a popular after-school camp in the town of Chatham, killing 3 children and a teenager. No decision has been made about whether to charge the 44-year-old driver. Police say they've recovered an event data recorder from the vehicle and will analyze it.
An investment training operation has scammed consumers out of more than $1 billion since 2018. CBS's Christopher Cruz.
The Federal Trade Commission and Nevada's Attorney General have moved to stop IM Mastery Academy, now known as IOVIA and previously known as iMarkets Live, from continuing to operate what they say is a, quote, wide-ranging investment training and business ventures scam. The regulators say the company uses bogus earnings claims to get college-aged consumers to buy expensive training on financial topics. An FTC official says, quote, the breadth of this scam is remarkable, from brazen earnings claims to the fact that their so-called investment trainers are often nothing more than salespeople with no formal training or credentials. Christopher Cruz, CBS News, Washington.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Packers rookies are making their way to Green Bay for the start of a 2-day minicamp beginning tomorrow. Playoff hockey returns to Milwaukee tonight with the Admirals hosting the Rockford Ice Hogs in Game 1 of the semifinals. The puck drops at 7 o'clock at the Panthers Arena. Brewers lose to the White Sox 8-0, but take the series. They face the first-place Cubs for a 3-game series at home starting tomorrow.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 4:35. John Mercure for Colders, and the Memorial Day savings have arrived early at Colders, and they're giving all of you, our valued listeners, including every single one of you listening now, exclusive access to their Friends and Family pricing event. Listen to this at Colders. This is something they've never done before. For the first time, you shop Colders Friends and Family pricing store-wide. Save 65% on furniture and mattresses. 65%. That is almost literally hard to believe. Sofas, sectionals, dining tables, bedroom sets, mattresses, 65% off. It's the best savings of the year. And if you're shopping for appliances, take an extra 5% off. I was just in the Colders showroom. I was in the one in Delafield. Great showroom, great customer service. They'll help you with whatever you need. It's Colders. It's not just any sale. It's the Friends and Family pricing sale. Never done before. It's easy. 60 months financing offers are available. Exclusive savings won't last. Don't miss now. Friends and Family sale ends Monday, May 5th. So the next few days, you got to get into Colders. It's 65% off, and they've got great stuff. 4 locations, West Allis, Delafield, Oak Creek, Grafton, or you can browse at Colders.com. It is the best there is, and it's the best pricing right now. It's Colders.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
We have spent a lot of time talking about Real ID. It's almost here. You're going to need it for a lot of things, especially if you plan to get on an airplane. ABC's Alex Stone is with us from Los Angeles. Tell us the detail, Alex. How's this going to play out?
Yeah, so this has been delayed so many times over and over again. You've probably, for like 10 years, you go to airports and you see the signs that were like 2015, you need a real ID, and then 2019, and then 2022. But this time it's real because in past times, the government has delayed over and over, saying, okay, people aren't ready for it, not enough people have them. But this time, the TSA and the White House are saying they got to do it. The beginning next week, if you use a driver's license, as most of us do, when you go through a TSA checkpoint or to go into federal buildings, it's going to have to be a real ID, which is where you go into the DMV and you bring in more documents, prove you are who you say you are. We talked today to Adam Stahl, the deputy administrator of the TSA, and he told us,
this administration, this secretary, we're really focused, and we believe that identity and document integrity is really key to ensuring the safety and the security of our skies.
So Real ID is a set of federal standards for what states have to do to give out driver's licenses or IDs. And until now, some states had been very secure. Others, you could go in and say, hi, I just arrived here. I'm John Smith, and this is my address. And they would say, great, John Smith, here you go. Here's a driver's license, and it had the address on it. So theoretically, a terrorist could walk in and get whatever ID under any name that they wanted, and then they wouldn't come up in the no-fly list. So now you got to go in and show multiple pieces of proof of address and your name and social security number and birth certificate and marriage license if your name has changed and all this. So it's meant to cut down on counterfeiting and insider fraud and fake IDs. But there's a certain segment of the population that is quite mad about the government demanding these documents, even though they're all government documents anyway that they just want to look at. And then the DMV says, okay, we saw them and you can get your ID. But Stahl says this is in response to 9/11. It just because it's been delayed for so long, it took a very, very long time.
This was a law passed 20 years ago, and it was, critical vulnerability that was identified during 9/11.
And if you don't have a real ID, you can use a military ID, you can use a passport come next Wednesday. But if you do show up on May 7th or after with your regular old ID, things are going to get interesting. You may get through and go to your plane. You may not. You may have to say, here's a gas bill. It matches my old ID. It's going to be weird.
There is a possibility if you arrive to the airport without a sufficient or compliant real ID or an alternative like a passport, that you may be experiencing additional wait times. In extremely rare circumstances, you may be denied travel.
Can you imagine how much the TSA officers are going to hate where you're like, well, here's my old ID and here is my gas bill. I want you to look at these two things and let me through it. So if you have a real ID if you've got a star in the upper right-hand corner of your driver's license, and you probably know because you had to go in and give them all this stuff for them to see, and it costs more, but in some form a star. In California where I am, it's a bear with a star on the booty of the bear, but there's a star there either way. So you'll know that you've got it. But if you haven't done it by now, it's going to be probably too late to get one in time. But know that if you don't have one, you need your passport, you need a military ID to get through security in the middle of next week.
It's been especially hard for women. Women need to provide, if their name is not the same as it was, a copy of their original marriage certificate, Alex. And I've been reading a lot of stories. I just read one today. A woman married 65 years ago. The church where she got married isn't in existence anymore. The county clerk's office where she was married, actually in California, had a fire. She can't get a copy of it. She cannot get a real ID. It's much more difficult, they say, for women.
We've got a makeup lady here in our office. Don't we all have makeup folks? Our makeup artist, she was just telling me a few minutes ago, she's in that boat where she's got a certified copy of her marriage license, but they're saying, no, it has to be an original of the marriage license.
What?
And she's like, are you kidding me? I don't. And so she's going through this right now that her local DMV office is saying that the certified copy isn't enough.
Could they move the deadline again?
No, they say they're not going to this time. I say that and then watch them do it come next Wednesday. But they claim they are not going to move it, that under the Trump administration that it's going to happen middle of next week.
Julia's proud. She's got her little thing. In Wisconsin, what do we have? I'm pulling mine out right now. I don't think we have a bear with a booty
What is this called?
star.
The little transparent thing where you can see my
The
face?
hologram.
Do you have a hologram on yours in
Alex,
California,
do you guys?
Alex?
We have holograms on ours.
I don't know. I have to pull mine out. Let
Pull
me
it
see.
out.
Oh, you would know.
It's cool.
No, I think. Oh, yeah, no. Well, I have a little like miniature picture of me next to my picture, but it's not a hologram. It's just the hologram is like the seal of the state of California when I move
Ours
around.
is a hologram
we
picture.
can see through
Look how
it.
cool that
You
was.
can't see through yours?
But we just have
really
a boring
cool.
star. We don't have a bear with a tattoo of a star.
Yeah, come on.
That's right. We have a golden bear with a star on its booty.
That's fun.
ABC's Alex Stone. Good information, Alex. Thanks. We appreciate it.
You got it. Thanks, guys.
It is 4:41 at WTMJ. Up next, Paul Fello. We've been telling you his journey. Stage 4 cancer, surgery a few weeks ago. Big award just handed out to him. We talked to Paul Fello up next on WTMJ.
Deals are popping up all over the place this week at Fleet Farm. Like Farm Fresh Selects veggie and herb plants, 3 for $9.99. 1 cubic foot bags of Miracle Grow Moisture Control Potting Mix are just $9.99. And ladies' Carhartt Tencel t-shirts are 25% off. From garden staples to workwear essentials, Fleet Farm has everything you need this season. Always at the best prices, guaranteed.
Mother's Day is almost here. Think about how much your mom means to you. WTMJ's John Mercure. I'm going to be honest. Even if your mom doesn't mean that much to you, get her to the Fox and Hounds. For God's sake, get her a nice meal. Maybe you can make it up. Maybe you can kiss and be nice, huggy. Get to the brunch buffet at the Fox and Hounds. It's going to hook you guys up into a good space. Mother's Day, one of the most special holidays of the year at the Fox and Hounds. That brunch buffet, everything mom loves for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, including the prime rib, an entire room of desserts. Yeah, that's great. All you care to eat. Kids and grandkids under 3, they always eat for free. 100 wines to accent your Mother's Day brunch. Maybe mom wants a mimosa or a Bloody Mary. They can hook you up with that, too. It's in the Kettle Moraine Forest. Stunning setting. Reservations are required. Tables fill quickly for Mother's Day. I've been to this brunch. It's exquisite. Reserve today at foxandhoundsrestaurant.com. The Fox and Hounds, just east of Holy Hill. The Spring Drive is beautiful. Happy Mother's Day from the Fox and Hounds, serving from 9 to 6. foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Flimsy, feeble, flaccid. That's how you can describe most pre-approval letters these days, because most banks still issue pre-approval letters without actually verifying your income, employment, or down payment. That's the exact opposite of an AccuNet rock-solid, fully verified and guaranteed pre-approval, where we put a $2,000 guarantee behind the fact the seller can actually rely on the terms of your pre-approval and offer. With AccuNet, there's also a possibility of issuing a property-specific pre-approval with as little as a 10% down payment that includes the magic words, "no appraisal required." That's right, AccuNet may be able to issue your pre-approval without needing an appraisal. That's the kind of certainty that can help a seller say yes to your offer. Sure, you can try competing with a flimsy bank pre-approval, or you can click on the blue button at AccuNet.com and get started with the pre-approval listing agents and sellers recognized as the best in the business. That's ACCUNET.com.
You know the voice.
Fly ball, right field, out of here!
You know the iconic calls.
Fly ball, deep right! Back to back!
And you know he's our Brewers 360 guest on Wisconsin's Morning News. Every Wednesday at 8:45, it's Brewers broadcaster Jeff Levering. Brewers 360 is sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited and Big Fish Contracting.
Traffic and then weather. Debbie Lazaga, how are the roads right now?
Well, we did have an earlier accident on westbound 94 at Highway P in Waukesha County, just past Delafield, but they have been able to clear that up. We do have delays, though, through that area, still working themselves out. 41 southbound heavy from Appleton Avenue all the way down past Capitol Drive, with the northbound side slowing down from Watertown Plank Road up to Hampton. We've got northbound 43 from Kilbourne, slowing down all the way up towards Keefe. Southbound is slow from Locust down through the Marquette down to the KK River crossing. And westbound 94, watch for backups out of the Marquette all the way to about Hawley Road. Eastbound slowing down from 70th Street all the way to 35th. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight, mostly cloudy, a slight chance of showers, a low of 43. Tomorrow, a few scattered showers possible, high of 54. Sunny. Saturday, 51 at the lake, 59 inland. Sunday, mostly sunny, a slight chance of showers at night, 58 at the lake, 66 inland. Monday, partly cloudy, a slight chance of showers throughout the day, 59 at the lake, 67 inland. Right now in Milwaukee, it's cloudy and 50 degrees.
Earlier today, Julie and I had the chance to speak to Waukesha County Executive Paul Fello, who is waging a heroic battle against cancer. Wanted to share this conversation with you. Here's Paul Fello. We're excited to be joined by Waukesha County Executive Paul Fello. Paul, thank you so much for being with us.
Hey, John and Julie, I'm glad I could be here.
All right, we're giving you the Wisconsin Afternoon News Hero Award. You're the first recipient.
Wow.
Probably the only. Congratulations on that.
And the Gold Star Award.
Thank you so very much.
The Gold Star Award.
We're going to talk about...
because I've had to put up with you for so long, or what?
Yeah, you should get a handful of awards, no doubt. Hey, we're going to talk about another really cool award. It's really quite an honor that you received. We'll do that coming up in a minute, but I wanted to start with your health because we hear from people all the time that want to know how you're doing. So that's the most basic question. You went through major surgery just a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
You're starting to work a little bit. How are you feeling? How are you doing?
Overall, feeling really good. Strength is slowly coming back, and the best way I can describe it is, John, you've been to our house. I have one floor, so I got a basement. I can go up and down the stairs now 3 times without getting exhausted.
Paul, you're back.
3 weeks ago, I couldn't even go up once.
Wow.
I mean, it's amazing how the body reacts to the surgery. And gets through it. The biggest challenge for me right now, and I kind of chuckle every time I say it, is the GI tract. And when you think about the surgery that I had because of the cancer was in the abdomen, they took about 1/3 of my intestines out, along with everything else. And so my body's getting used to how to digest, how to get rid of stuff. And so, as Amy jokes, I don't eat 3 meals a day anymore. I try to eat about 5 smaller ones, and I'm just trying to get used to it. I mean, last night I had 2 tacos, and I was stuffed to the point where it hurt.
Wow.
Man, that's an adjustment.
It is. It's just trying to figure it all out. The worst part about the surgery for me is just this recovery. In getting through it. I mean, the 12.5 hours of surgery for me was awesome. I just slept on a table. My team, the surgical team did a phenomenal job. They got all the cancer out. We had a scan about a week ago, showed no signs of any of the cancer in my abdomen. Pathology report came back. Really good news. It was not in the lymph nodes, so it's not traveling to any other part of the body. The bigger challenge is it is what's known as goblet cell adenocarcinoma. It is one of the most aggressive abdominal GI type of cancers that there is. And so I'll be doing scans every 3 months for probably the rest of my life till we figure what's going on.
Do you feel better? Do you think that, do you feel a difference at least?
I don't know, Julie, I don't know if do I feel better. I feel pain. Because I have an incision that goes from the sternum past the belly button.
I bet.
And it's one where as it heals the scar tissue, I've got to keep reminding myself to hold my shoulders back, stand upright, even though it hurts, because I don't want to lurch the rest of my life.
Oh, that's a good point.
And so it's just kind of dealing with all of that and getting back into it. Side effect from it all, I've lost almost 40 pounds. I've had to buy new clothes. Nothing that I had before fits. I could tell you fun stories about trying to try suits on to go to the events that you were talking about, John. It was hilarious. So it's trying to get used to that. As my wife says, my squinty eyes are now big, wide open eyes, and she just kind of chuckles about it. I mean, we're having some fun with it along the way. But it has been great to be able to hear from people and talk to people and kind of get back into life.
Yes.
I mean, surgery was only about 6.5 weeks ago. My surgeon wanted me to stay away from the office for 8 to 12 weeks. I lasted 5.5.
Wow.
That's close.
That's amazing, actually.
We're getting there. It gives me, I mean, the energy I get from my team at the county it helps me a lot and kind of gets me back into it. I've been doing a lot of remote work for the county. We've got the budget coming up in a couple of weeks. We're going to start doing the 26 budget. So there's a lot of focus there, and my lovely wife is really working on me, trying to realize I've got to rest, and it's okay to be able to just sit and let my body heal.
Paul Fello is with us on WTMJ. Full disclosure, you and I have been friends for a very long time, and our wives are friends, and you've always had a big heart, and you're a grateful person. With all that said, has going through this changed your perspective, changed how you feel about gratitude, changed you at all?
It is humbling. It is hard for me to take help.
Mm-hmm.
I am ready to, like you said, I'm ready to help everyone, but to ask for help or get help is very difficult. And I have really good friends who kind of force the issue and just stop by and drop things off and do stuff, which at times is good. Other times I'm just so tired. I don't want to talk to people. I just want to sleep. And so it's been an interesting journey for me. It has strengthened my faith in what the Lord can do and how he does it through me. And I think that's the biggest thing that I look at is how can I continue to help people that are going through the same journey? And for me, it's been incredible to find out, this happened back in August of 24. I've known 6 people now that have been diagnosed with cancer during that time.
Wow.
And it's just, again, and that's just people that I either tangentially know or people that I know. And it's incredible. At first, it's the way I described it is you buy a new car and suddenly you see that car everywhere on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to this, cancer was something other people had that I kind of knew, but now it's to the forefront. And I want to know, how can I help people? How can I get advocacy? How can I help people get through this? What can I do? So I think that's going to be a lot of my focus, is not so much raising money for research, because there's a lot of people doing that. It's how do we help advocate those going through cancer to help them on their journey.
Paul Fello is with us. One way you've helped people throughout your career is by demonstrating bipartisan leadership, and you received the prestigious Tommy Thompson Award, which recognizes just that, public servants who in a bipartisan fashion make a difference. What does it mean to you to receive the award?
It was a shock, and it is incredible. Again, I use the word a lot, humbling. Governor Thompson has been a friend and is an incredible individual when it comes to really public leadership, and how in the public world is a little bit different than the private world, and how he can pull people together. And John, as you know, my mom is the same way. And if she were here, she should have gotten this award. And so for me to be able to get this and continue on the legacy, really for me is kind of what it's all about. And the speech that I had, for me, again, it's not about me, it's about my team. Leadership is great, but you got to have people to lead. And having the people at the county and what we've done and the culture we've created there is just incredible. And I take feedback from every level to find out if we're continuing what we're supposed to be doing, if it's working, and really enjoy going into work to see people and talk to them about what's happening. And I think that's what a good leader does, is really just stay connected with their people to make sure that we're building the culture that continues to go forward, helping the residents of Waukesha County get the services they deserve.
What would your mom think of you winning this award?
First thing I say, she would probably say I should have gotten it first. You and I have talked about this. The track that my mom and I have had through the Assembly, the Senate, I joke that the reason I ran for county executive is because it's a position Mom never held. We have always had that competition. I know she would be very proud of me, and she is. I know she is, and I know my dad is.
Oh, absolutely. And there's a lot of leaders there. What did the governor say? What did the Speaker of the House say that was there? And I saw your face. You were smiling ear to ear. It was nice to see how happy you were.
It is. And I know Speaker Jensen, current Speaker Voss. I know everybody really well. And like I said, Tommy was one of the first ones to call me when I publicly came out that I had the cancer.
Paul Fello, the Waukesha County Executive, is back at work. You're an inspiration to a lot of people, Paul. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us, and congratulations on that award and the Wisconsin Afternoon News Award.
Wow.
Thanks. I don't know which one is more impactful for me. John, I got to tell you that the afternoon award, I think, is above this. I really do. And everything that there's there and happens, that's it, baby. Now I've hit the peak of everything.
Now we're humbled. Hey, Paul, thank you so much.
Thanks, you guys. Have a great afternoon.
He is one of the really good guys. Prayers for Paul Fello. It is 4:56.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
A new retail center could bring vitality to an unused lot in Milwaukee's Sherman Park neighborhood. Local firm Ahmed Properties is purchasing a city-owned lot with plans to turn it into a 4,000 square foot grocery store and 2 smaller storefronts. A tenant is not yet in place for the site. Tariff increases have led Milwaukee manufacturer A.O. Smith Corporation to raise prices on its flagship water heaters by 6% to 9%. The company listed higher steel prices and other input costs as driving the price increases on its products. The state's Small Business Credit Initiative, which started as a support program during the COVID-19 pandemic, is still pushing money out the door. Wisconsin has deployed about a third of the $79 million allocated to it by the Treasury Department, according to recently released data. Most of the program's funds go to loan guarantee programs. I'm Timothy Gibbons with MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on 620 WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? At Milwaukee Weight Loss, we know the secret. Our doctor-developed, easy-to-follow weight loss program helps you lose weight fast, naturally and safely, and with no drugs or injections with risk of serious side effects, no prepackaged meals, bars, shakes, and no exercising required. Our program helps reset your metabolism so you can keep the weight off for good with a coach for ongoing support. Our program costs up to half as much and works up to twice as fast as most other programs. Go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com to schedule your free consultation.
Hey, it's Steve Scafidi. I've been on this weight loss journey for about 10 weeks now, currently in the maintenance phase. Hit my goal, 35 pounds. Reached my weight loss goal easy, fast, safely, and I'm going to continue working with a wonderful team at Milwaukee Weight Loss.
Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. That's up to a pound per day. Schedule your free consultation by calling 262-449-1180 or online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
Are you getting older and ready to simplify your life? Soriso at Grace Commons in Menominee Falls is your answer. Come tour these beautiful new duplex and fourplex homes. Filled with modern amenities and designed for older adults, Soriso is a maintenance-free community built around a central resident clubhouse that features a pickleball court, golf simulator, walking paths, and much more. Rent starts at $34.60 per month. Call today and tour Soriso at Grace Commons, a Capri community. CapriCommunities.com.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Mother's Day is almost here. Don't forget your mom. WTMJ's John Mercure here. Take your mother and your grandmother to the brunch buffet at the Mine Shaft Restaurant in Hartford. Locally family-owned for over 46 years. One of my favorite places. It's so much fun. It is the most generous and affordable Mother's Day brunch. It's everything your mom loves for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. All you can eat with a huge dessert table and just $24.99. Kids and grandkids under 3 eat for free. That's pretty cool. Your mom can relax with a Bloody Mary, a mimosa, a glass of wine on her special day, and no cooking, no cleanup. And those kids can safely play in the world-class game room, quietly tucked away from the dining area while you finish up your brunch. The Mine Shaft is very family-friendly. It's big food, it's big fun, all day long. You'll not spend a lot of money on your Mother's Day brunch at the Mine Shaft. Tables fill quickly. Call and reserve today. Visit MineShaftRestaurant.com in beautiful downtown Hartford. It's the amazing Mine Shaft.
After a serious crash with a semi-truck, everything can change instantly. Your future, your family's future, your quality of life. That's why knowledge and results matter in big truck cases. And not all law firms have the know-how or the resources to handle these complicated cases. At Gruberg Law Offices, we have the experience it takes to make sure you're protected. And there's never a fee until we win your case. Gruberg Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Church and Chapel Funeral Homes.
dignified services with less expensive fees compared to other fine funeral homes. Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. There's one near you.
Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start looking and feeling your best with Hair Grow by New Nordic. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or at your local CVS.
Trusted, relevant, locally owned, locally programmed. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ Milwaukee.
I'm John Mercure. Your top story, Kohl's is without a CEO.
I'm Julia Fello. A man involved in an Amber Alert bound for trial.
I'm Debbie Lazaga, and we've got northbound 43 in Ozaukee County. We've got a crash. It's off on the right shoulder, just north of Mequon Road. So careful with that. We've got delays stretching back towards the county line. On northbound coming out of the Marquette, you'll see delays all the way up to Keith. Southbound slowing from Locust down through the Marquette to the KK River. Westbound 94 is heavy from 13th Street all the way to Hawley Road. And then 41 southbound's got some backups from Good Hope Road pretty much all the way down past Capitol Drive. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight, cloudy, low of 43. Tomorrow, cloudy, a high of 54. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, 4 months on the job and the new CEO of Kohl's is out. Ashley Buchanan fired, but not because of anything to do with the company's financial performance.
The Wall Street Journal says Buchanan was terminated because of a highly unusual business deal he made with a woman who he was once romantically linked to. Wall Street Journal says the woman is the CEO of Incredibrew, a coffee brand infused with vitamins, and she signed a multi-million-dollar consulting agreement with Kohl's with unusually favorable terms. Now, Kohl's says Buchanan was fired for violating company policies. Board member Michael Bender is interim CEO, effective immediately. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
The Arkansas man accused of abducting a pregnant Beaver Dam teenager is bound for trial. 40-year-old Gary Day extradited from Nebraska after he was found with now 17-year-old Sophia Franklin at an Omaha truck stop. The pair had been missing since early February. An Amber Alert was issued with her disappearance. He is believed to be the father of her unborn child. Day faces 4 felony charges of child abduction and enticement. His arraignment is set for June 3rd.
Franklin Mayor John Nelson defending himself against allegations of misconduct connected to his time as a Town of Waterford police lieutenant. Nelson says the allegations of sexual harassment, showing inappropriate photos of women to fellow officers, untruthful time records, and campaigning on duty are just noise.
Why did you wait till after May 6th? And the issues you brought forth, again, were not violations of policy, procedure, rules, or regulations because they were not presented as such.
Nelson has not been charged with any crimes.
After 100 days at the job, President Trump shuffling around his cabinet in a big way. ABC's Shannon Kingston.
In the first major staffing shakeup of his second term, President Trump announced that Secretary of State Marco Rubio will be stepping in as his interim national security advisor while continuing on in his role as the top U.S. diplomat. Rubio replaces former Florida Congressman Mike Waltz, who has now been tapped to serve as the Trump administration's ambassador to the United Nations. Shannon Kingston, ABC News, the State Department.
Coming up, an unusual arrest for smuggling.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News time approaching 5:05.
Slide into your neighborhood Century Food Store to score the freshest produce, tastiest treats, and everything in between. Now through Wednesday, save on 48-ounce selected variety Cedar Crust ice cream, $4.49. 13.1 to 16-ounce selected varieties Swanson Hungry Man dinners, 2 for $7. 11 to 18.7-ounce selected varieties Kellogg cereal, 2 for $6. 8 to 15.75-ounce selected varieties Frito-Lay Party Size Lay's, Tostitos Natural, or Tostitos Dip, $3.99.
Attention shoppers. Safe.
Okay. Ooh. Pineapple fulfills every need.
While you're shopping, a drive way back, it's a gunner.
There's something goofy going on with the PA.
Need a price check and I'll take me out to the ball game.
See, what is going on?
You're hearing things. We're at Century Foods, and you can't take your mind off winning that ultimate baseball fan sweepstakes.
I'm hoping to throw out the first pitch at a Milwaukee baseball game.
Or attend batting practice.
Or hold the finish line ribbon for the racing sausages.
You don't say.
The ultimate baseball fan sweepstakes at Century Foods. Enter on Century's Facebook or Instagram by July 30th.
This change has leveled us up while being able to maintain the same quality of service that we've always provided, with no upfront fees and 1.9% real estate commission. We're proud to be part of the Century 21 family, so you can move fearlessly with the added confidence of top-of-the-line marketing for maximum home exposure. And that means more eyeballs and the real potential for the highest price for your home. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. With the ability to market luxury homes on a higher scale than ever before, Century 21 Benefit Realty has taken a huge step forward to tap into a global network of buyers. Maximum exposure to spotlight your unique home with our fine homes and estates marketing so you can sell it for the highest price. And with no upfront fees and 1.9% real estate commission, you win. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 5:07.
Federal charges filed against a man who allegedly tried to smuggle in a lot of parakeets stuffed in his boots. ABC's Alex Stone.
When 54-year-old Mexico resident Naeem Libyan stepped out of his car at secondary screening at the Otay Mesa Port of Entry in San Diego, immediately U.S. Customs officers could see big bulges sticking out of his boots. When they looked closer, he had 6 orange-fronted parakeets he was smuggling into the U.S., according to federal prosecutors. They say later officers heard birds crying in his car, and they found more parakeets hidden in a seat compartment. 3 of the birds died. Libyan is now under arrest and facing charges that could get him 20 years in federal prison. Alex Stone, ABC News.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers lose to the White Sox 8-0, but do take the series 2 games out of 3. They head home for a 3-game series with the Cubs starting tomorrow night. And playoff hockey returns to Milwaukee tonight with the Admirals hosting the Rockford Ice Hogs. It's Game 1 of the Central Division semifinals. Puck drops at 7 o'clock at Milwaukee Panthers Arena.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 5:08.
You've got several kids, or your job and other commitments keep you buried with work.
Meanwhile, the clutter is piling up at home. How can people stay tidy when their lives are in chaos?
We have a solution to help you chase away the chaos.
Yes. He's Dan, and I'm Katie. Together, we're Inspired Closets.
Our team at Inspired Closets can more than double your closet storage space via gorgeous closet renovations.
And our true lifetime warranty makes it a no-brainer. Get started today at InspiredClosetsMilwaukee.com.
Inspired Closets.
A wife and husband team.
Buying a new roof might not be the most exciting thing you'll do this year, but for us at Big Fish Contracting, being chosen to do that roof for you not only provides income for multiple families in southeastern Wisconsin, but has a global reach and impact around the world. To us, it's more than just a roof. We've been earning trust for over 2 decades, roofing, siding, windows, and more. Go to bigfishcontracting.com to learn how Big Fish is renovating homes and redeeming an industry.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, John Mercure and Julia Fello.
5:09 on WTMJ. So happy you're with us.
Happy Thursday.
I wanted to get you up to date on new connections to the Madison school shooter and others that were allegedly planning attacks in their own hometowns. They were connected online. 15-year-old Natalie Rupnow, if you forgot, shot and killed 2 people back in December, hurt 2 others at Abundant Life Christian School. Federal agents found she was talking to other people online who may have been plotting their own shootings, including a 22-year-old Florida man we've just learned who police say looked like he was set up for war, as they said in the news conference. Arrested in Palm Beach County for threatening a mass shooting and impersonating law enforcement officer. They found his plans, apparently, according to investigators, they say to attack multiple locations by impersonating a cop. He had different outfits that looked like he was a deputy, one of them, and he took selfie videos and he posted it onto TikTok. Investigators were able to track him down after seeing messages between the now deceased Rupnow and him talking last year on TikTok about carrying out mass shootings. He messaged her, "We go down together." She replied, "Correct, I love you." And he replied, "I love you more."
Oh, my gosh.
Damian Blade Allen, that is his name. Now, authorities say he was caught with 18 firearms and 12,000 rounds of ammunition, body armor, and again, those police uniforms. The Madison shooter also wrote to him that she wanted to shoot up a black church. That is when Damian Blade Allen said he had 7 places in mind. Here's the Palm Beach County Sheriff who's disturbed.
There's no doubt in my mind they have stopped a mass shooting that was going to happen. This guy was ready to go, had all the equipment, had the propensity to do it. It's just a matter of what day was going to set him off to go do it.
So in these charges, it reveals more about 15-year-old Natalie Rupnell's manifesto. We didn't really get to read it, but now we've learned in a 6-page manifesto that they found in her bedroom after that deadly school shooting, she had racist and derogatory language towards black people, detailed research on mass shooters, and that she wrote about manipulating her father into purchasing firearms that she would use in the school shooting that killed 2 people. We also know about that California man that she was in contact with, exchanged disturbing messages with the school shooter. He's now banned from the red flag law in that state from owning any firearms for 3 years. Court records say 20-year-old Alexander Pfaffendorf was in contact with her, and he had been communicating with her online about her plans. And he knew about her plans. Oh, my goodness. And he was talking about his plans to attack a government building that he hadn't identified yet. He expressed his regret in court, and he's not charged with any crime. That guy, 20-year-old Pfaffendorf, and is not expected to be charged.
Disturbing information. Wow. It is 5:12 at WTMJ. Up next, inside Donald Trump's first 100 days in office. TMJ4 Chief Political Reporter Charles Benson with us live in the studio. Tonight with a free dinner at the historic and gorgeous Fox and Hounds Supper Club. WTMJ's John Mercure here. I love the Fox and Hounds. It is the best dining value in the state. Your second dinner is always free. Steak, ribs, seafood, pasta, a big fresh salad, any dinner item on the menu, your second one is free. Desserts and ice cream drinks, yeah, and they're huge. Buy one, get one free. So relax with your favorite beverage in the 8 unique dining rooms or on the patio in the woods. Spectacular views. I love the patio. Celebrate a birthday, an anniversary, or just a quiet dinner with your sweetie. Your second dinner is always free. The Fox and Hounds, just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of the beautiful Holy Hill Shrine. The drive through the Kettle Moraine Forest is a must-see. Weekends might be too busy. Enjoy your free dinner tonight. And the Friday Fish Fry is all you care to eat and one of the best. Visit foxandhoundsrestaurant.com. Enjoy your free dinner. Tables are open. It's the famous Fox and Hounds.
Hi, this is Jeff Levering with the Brewers Radio Network. Ridgetop Exteriors, Wisconsin's trusted name in home improvement, does more than just top-quality roofing. They're your go-to for maintenance-free siding and energy-efficient windows, too. Ridgetop has expert credentials with leading manufacturers like Pella, James Hardie, and LP Smart Siding. For over 20 years, they delivered exceptional craftsmanship and service. Call Ridgetop Exteriors today or visit ridgetopexteriors.com. Ridgetop Exteriors, where customer service always comes first.
Ridgetop Exteriors.
A whole day dedicated to us?
No, dedicated to you, the WTMJ fan.
Come celebrate WTMJ with us, your favorite WTMJ host, at a private tailgate at the Brewers game Saturday, May 17th.
Enjoy food, drinks, and hanging out with us. Plus tickets to the Brewers game as they take on the Twins at AmFam Field.
Get more information and secure your tickets at WTMJday.com.
Tickets will go fast, so sign up today. We'll see you at the ballpark for WTMJ Day, Saturday, May 17th.
WTMJ Day is sponsored by Woodman's.
All right, let's check those roads with Debbie Loziga. Happy Friday, Deb. How we doing?
Well, I wish it was Friday. We've got some delays out there right now. Southbound on 43. We're looking at delays from about Locust all the way down through the Marquette onto the high-rise bridge. Northbound side slowing down from Fond du Lac, or before Fond du Lac Avenue all the way to Capitol Drive. We did have this accident on northbound 43 right north of Mequon Road. Looks like they were able to clear this one up. But then we also got another one reported right about at Capitol Drive. So that's one of the reasons why we've got some big old nasty delays heading into the Capitol Drive area. Southbound out 41 backing up from Good Hope Road all the way down to the KK, actually not the KK River, that would be really bad. From just to past Capitol Drive, the northbound side is also slow from about Watertown Plank Road all the way up past Burleigh. I'm Debbie Loziga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast tonight, cloudy, a low of 43. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, 54. Saturday, sunny, 59. Sunday, sunny, 66. On Monday, partly cloudy, still dry, a high of 67. Right now, it's cloudy and 51 degrees. Donald Trump has passed 100 days in office, and he's still going. Senior national political reporter for Scripps News and chief political reporter for TMJ4, Charles Benson, is with us.
Great to be here.
Charles, good to have you. First few months have seen record-breaking use of executive powers, executive orders, lots of stuff. It's been really, really busy. When you think about the first 100 days, what kind of bubbles to the surface?
Yeah, I was thinking about this on the way down, and it's going to sound strange to say that, but today's headlines are not necessarily tomorrow's news. Think about that statement.
Minute by minute, yeah.
Today's headlines are not tomorrow's news. All of us are veterans in this business, right? We see how stories just can play out over time. But the speed of which things are moving, from the day I was out there on Inauguration Day to his, first speech to Congress, I think the headline would be, though, historically ambitious. I mean, President Trump has put out so much in those first 100 days. Intentionally, this is what they wanted to do. And so then people will then start measuring, okay, so what's working? Is there some benefit? Are there success stories? And one of the areas they look at is laws enacted in the first 100 days. And I saw some analysis on NBC. There's been 5 so far, which is the lowest of any president since Eisenhower. Now, the others were like 6 or 7 as the other lows. But even President Trump in his first term.
I only know one, Laken Riley.
Yeah, right, yeah.
I don't even know the others.
We're 30 in the first 100 days, right? So that's a measurement about like, okay, what are they doing? Executive orders, though. He's through, he's up to 140 and, far more than President Biden or Obama or Clinton or Bush in those time periods as well.
Well, all of them added together, Charles, if you add 141 plus all the executive orders going back to Jimmy Carter, they're the same amount. That's stunning that Trump has the same amount this time as everybody else almost added
combined
together.
Yeah, right. These are stunning things. And then people start saying, okay, they go out and do all these polls, right? So what are people thinking? What are they saying? Look at the numbers here. 55% majority approve of his work on border security, right? That was a big campaign goal. Yep. But then you start looking at some of the other issues on immigration, 47%, 48%. So that's kind of a mixed result, right? 38% lowest approval on the economy, 56% disapprove. His worst ratings on inflation, 33% approve, followed by tariffs, 33% disapprove. And now you're saying, oh, Charles, you're cherry picking the numbers, right? This is the Fox News poll.
Oh, wow. And, he also said before he even stepped into the Oval Office with his second term, he would end the Russia-Ukraine war and Hamas and Israel war. And that hasn't happened.
Right. But going back to, look, it is the first 100 days, and it is a metric that we sort of reflect on what has happened. There's still a lot of time for all of these other things to start coming into place. But border security is one of those areas that does show numbers in his favor. And a lot of times what I've noticed around covering President Trump, he'll say things and then he'll sort of exaggerate the success, even though he's had success at it.
Like no reason to exaggerate.
Exactly. It's like if you win the game 4-3, you won the game. You don't have to say, oh yeah, we won 100-3. And so it's interesting when you look at like Department of Homeland Security is saying, look, they claim there's been 151,000 arrests of undocumented immigrants. Okay, and Scripps News did a deep dive on this, but ICE, which is in the business of doing that, says the number is 66,000. Okay, but when you look at that number in the first 100 days. That's far more than President Biden did. Yep. All right. So there's success going on there, and people are seeing that. But when it comes to all of this other stuff around deportation and what we're seeing in some of the cases and some of the laws and some of the things that are being challenged, that's where people are still not on board wholeheartedly on how he's going about this. And so I think we talked about it at the beginning of the year. It's going to come down to results. Look, today, just a few minutes ago, Apple said, look, we think tariffs are going to cost $900 million this quarter for them. And everybody's now waiting to see what is the tariffs impact. We don't know, except businesses are concerned because they're in this level of uncertainty. That's Apple. Apple is saying $900 million. Tomorrow, we're going to have a jobs report. Okay, jobs reports tell us where we are in this economy. People are going to look at those numbers. Are they saying, hey, things are looking good? Or are they going to say, wait a minute, the economy appears to be slowing down? It's going to be a one-day headline, and will it reflect tomorrow's news? We'll have to see. But there are things that are coming into place that help us give perspective and context around what he is doing and how we are either benefiting or potentially going to face some tough challenges.
And you said it's about results. And to get some of those results, he's going to need the help of Congress. To your point, not many laws, lots of executive unilateral action, but the tax package that he desperately wants passed, some of the other funding measures, initially he could do a lot without that, but he's going to have to fold them in. And congressional aides are beginning to say, our bosses are getting a little bit on edge here. We want a seat at the table. We want a voice.
Yeah, and 2026 is going to be here pretty fast for all those members in the House who are going to have to run for re-election. And so they're going to want things. Yes, this big, beautiful bill, right, around the tax laws and what's going to happen there. So I think there is still a lot on the table that will determine what the results are going to be. People are going to look at if they're trying to buy a home, are interest rates down? If they're paying for gas this summer when they're traveling around, is my vacation costing me more to travel versus the other time around? Because in campaign rally after campaign rally, when the president was here or anywhere in the country, his one big promise was that things are going to be cheaper and more affordable for Americans, and they're going to hold him accountable. But in looking at polling, Republicans love pretty much everything he's doing. He's still polling very strong among Republicans.
I want to ask you if you expect the pace to slow down.
I don't think so. It's just not in his style, and it's not. He talks about a third term. No one knows how that's possible, right?
Yeah, it's not.
But so it feels like he's got to play a fast game here to get as much going, get as much in motion. 4 years actually does go pretty fast. Or if they're looking at 2026 saying they don't know what the House looks like or the Senate looks like. I mean, look at something as much as the tariffs, the thing in front of the Senate yesterday where J.D. Vance had to come and break the tie on whether or not they were going to send a message that tariffs is really the role and responsibility of members of Congress.
Great perspective, Charles. Senior national political reporter for Scripps News and chief political reporter at TMJ4. You can check out his work on the website and on the newscast. Charles, always good to have you here. Thank you so much.
Great to be here.
Great to have you in the studio. That's really good stuff. It's 524 at WTMJ. Let's check those markets because once again, they were up today. Big tech had big results and the markets like that. Now all eyes point to that jobs report that Charles was talking about for tomorrow, your Friday. The S&P was up 35 points. The NASDAQ was up 254. That's a 1.5 by the way. And the Dow was up 84 points on the day. Annex Wealth Management. It's financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Know the difference with Annex.
Deals are popping up all over the place this week at Fleet Farm. Like Farm Fresh Selects veggie and herb plants, 3 for $9.99. 1 cubic foot bags of Miracle Grow Moisture Control Potting Mix are just $9.99. And ladies' Carhartt Tencel t-shirts are 25% off. From garden staples to workwear essentials, Fleet Farm has everything you need this season. Always at the best prices, guaranteed.
Hi, I'm Tony Drake from Drake & Associates. One of the biggest questions retirees face is when should I take Social Security? Should you claim it earlier for a smaller check or wait for a bigger payout? The wrong move could cost you thousands over the course of your retirement. And here's something most people don't realize. Social Security is only one piece of your income puzzle. If you don't coordinate it with your other retirement assets, you could pay more in taxes or even reduce your benefits without meaning to. At Drake & Associates, we help hardworking Americans like you make sense of their Social Security options so you can keep more of what you've earned. This isn't just about picking an age. It's about having a strategy so your retirement income lasts. That's why I want to send you a free retirement toolkit along with a copy of my book, Get Retirement Ready. Inside, you'll find easy-to-understand strategies to help you maximize Social Security, lower taxes, and build a reliable income plan. Text SS to 414-897-9522 to claim your free copies while supplies last. If you're unsure about your Social Security options, don't wait. This is your chance to get clarity and confidence about your retirement income. Text SS to 414-897-9522. Secure your future today. Text SS to 414-897-9522. Drake & Associates, helping you retire with confidence.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
Otto's Wine and Spirits. So I needed some more Tito's, and I went to Otto's, and I was thinking, I don't know, it's usually $42 for a handle of Tito's. At Otto's, it was $35. They have the best prices and the best selection at Otto's Wine and Spirits. Employee-owned, super-friendly staff. That's because the employees own the business, and they're knowledgeable. Their locations throughout southeast Wisconsin. They'll beat any advertised price at Otto's Wine and Spirits, celebrating their 80th birthday, helping you celebrate whatever your special occasion is. It's where I shop. I go to the store in Menominee Falls, but they're throughout the Milwaukee area. It's Otto's Wine and Spirits.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scavini for Badger Fence. If you listen to the show over the years, you know I've talked about my beautiful new cedar fence installed at my home. Well, the company I trusted with that job is Badger Fence. They've been installing high-quality, durable fences in the area since, get this, 1945. Proud member of the Better Business Bureau with an A-plus rating. Doesn't get any better than that. As well as a member of the National Association of the Remodeling Industry. If privacy, security, and a wide choice of fence styles are top of mind when you choose a fence for your property, then Badger Fence is the right company. They're licensed, bonded, and insured using the best materials in the industry. Badger Fence knows that premium fence materials, design options, and affordability all play an important role in your overall satisfaction. So whether you want wood, which is what we chose, ornamental, chain link, even PVC, they can help you choose the right materials for your fencing project. We love our fence, and when my wife Kathy and I were shopping around for fence companies, we found the right match with Badger Fence. To set up an appointment to talk with Badger Fence about your project, go to badgerfence.com. Badgerfence.com. Tell them Scafidi from WTMJ sent you.
For your next night out, revel in the fusion of artistry and flavor with sushi at St. Kate, offering guests an elevated experience where freshness and creativity converge in every bite. St. Kate the Arts Hotel introduces an exciting new sushi menu to its culinary repertoire. Indulge in the finest seafood, freshest ingredients, and expert craftsmanship for an inspired and delectable dining journey. Experience the art of sushi at St. Kate and learn more at stkatearts.com.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. It's Kubota Orange Days from America's #1 selling compact tractor, zero-turn mower, and sweet utility vehicle seller. And your local Kubota dealer is Bill's Power Center, delivering the savings you need for the life you love. Up to $500 in savings. April 30th through May 3rd. Orange Days financing and savings available. Exclusive deals. Don't miss this chance. Visit Bill's Power Center April 30th through May 3rd. I'll even be there on the Saturday, or BillsPowerCenter.com. I love the guys at Bill's.
I'm Brett Matschke, and you're due for service.
Richlawn's Tire and Service Centers. 5 locations and all easy to find. Visit richlawns.com when you're due for service.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 5:30. I'm John Mercure. Your top story, big leadership changes at Kohl's.
I'm Julia Fello. A major Florida arrest connected to a Madison school shooting.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Northbound 43 still really backed up out of the Marquette all the way up to Capitol Drive, where you will find an accident in the right lane. So careful with that. That's right through that construction zone. On the southbound side, you're seeing delays from about Burleigh down through the Marquette towards Lincoln. Westbound 94 has got some heavy traffic from about 25th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. The eastbound side slowing down just before 84th Street all the way to 35th. And still dealing with a broken down vehicle stuck in the right lane on 894 eastbound. This is right about at 84th Street. And big delays back through the Hale interchange in all directions. Southbound is slowing down from about Lincoln all the way down through the Hale. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Slight chance of shower tonight, a low of 43. Tomorrow, a few scattered showers, mostly cloudy throughout the day, a high of 54. Right now in Milwaukee, it's 51 degrees and cloudy.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, Kohl's fires its new CEO, Ashley Buchanan, with cause. Buchanan accused of violating company policies by directing the company to engage in vendor transactions. Multiple sources reporting the transactions were favorable terms with someone he's involved with romantically. Kohl's has appointed Michael Bender as interim CEO. Buchanan served in the CEO position for just 4 months.
New reaction to a big arrest in Florida connected to the shooter at Abundant Life Christian School in Madison.
Deputies in Palm Beach County, Florida, arrested a 22-year-old man this week who investigators say had contact with Natalie Rupp now for months. Damian Allen is accused of posing as a sheriff's deputy and threatening to carry out a mass shooting. Palm Beach County Sheriff Rick Bradshaw.
There's no doubt in my mind they have stopped a mass shooting.
Investigators found an arsenal of weapons inside Allen's home, disturbing online messages, and a closet full of law enforcement uniforms.
This guy was ready to go, had all the equipment, had the propensity to do it. It's just a matter of what day was going to set him off to go do it.
Jessica Ty, WTMJ News.
2 people are dead, including a teenager, after a crash Wednesday night in Milwaukee during a police pursuit. The fleeing driver led police on a chase, ending in a crash on the north side. A 17-year-old and 18-year-old in the initial car died at a hospital. The two 25-year-olds and 24-year-olds in the car that was struck were treated on scene. The driver of the fleeing car is now in custody.
Enacting a plan to take on lead dust in Milwaukee public schools.
The new lead action plan offers options beyond remediation. Interim Chief School Administration Officer Michael Harris.
Our next steps and long-term vision is to complete stabilization efforts in schools built before 1950 by the end of summer break.
MPS Superintendent Dr. Brenda Casellia says while cleanup is the top priority, MPS needs to consider rebuilding schools.
85 years of a building is just too much, and we are wasting money continuing to try to remediate lead paint.
Sean Brenda, WTMJ News.
A lawsuit over funding cuts to AmeriCorps.
Wisconsin is one of 2 dozen states suing the Trump administration and the Department of Government Efficiency over an end to grant funding for volunteer services programs. AmeriCorps programs in Wisconsin include tutoring, conservation, library services, and support for homeless youth. In Milwaukee, the cuts have led to the termination of the Milwaukee Justice Center's Courthouse Navigator program, which assisted visitors by providing directions and information within the courthouse. The cuts could end services at over 300 sites across the state. Elizabeth Lintonen, WTMJ News.
A new report shows sexual assaults in the military have dropped 4% in the last fiscal year. CBS News Pentagon reporter Eleanor Watson.
Official reports of sexual assault in the military decreased for the second year in a row, reversing a trend that has plagued the Defense Department for years. According to data released by the Pentagon on Thursday, there were 8,195 reports of sexual assault in fiscal year 2024. That's down 4% from the 8,515 reports in 2023.
This year, airline travelers will have to make sure they have their bona fides in order before boarding, and now you have 1 week.
It's called a Real ID, and the Wisconsin DMV is reminding everyone that if you want to get on a plane, you're going to need to make sure you have the right identification. These cards have the added star on the upper right. Though enforcement doesn't begin until May 7th, the DMV wants everyone to start getting ready to make the switch. And it's more than just getting on a plane. You need this type of ID to be able to get into a federal building or a military base. To get a good look at what we're talking about here, visit WTMJ.com and see what's accepted and what's not. Debbie Lazaga, WTMJ News.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Packers rookies making their way to Green Bay for the start of a 2-day minicamp tomorrow. Playoff hockey returns to Milwaukee tonight with Admirals hosting Rockford Ice Hogs in Game 1 of the semifinals. Puck drops at 7 o'clock at the Panthers Arena. The Brewers lose to the White Sox 8-0, but take the series. They face the first-place Cubs for a 3-game series at home starting tomorrow.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 5:35. John Mercure here for Colders, and the Memorial Day savings have arrived at Colders. Check this out. This is an incredible sale. It's the best sale of the year. They've never done it like this before, never this big. At Colders right now, store-wide, you save 65%, 65% on furnitures, mattresses, sofas, sectionals, dining tables, bedroom sets, mattresses, and more. I was just shopping at Colders, bought some cool stuff. I was in the Delafield store. I wish I had had this deal. Seriously, 65% off. It's the Friends and Family pricing event. I love the salespeople. The showrooms are beautiful. They're at 4 locations. Store-wide, 65%. And if you're shopping for appliances, take an extra 5% off on top of their already unbeatable deals on all kitchen and laundry. You can shop all of your favorite appliance brands in-store or online. It's Colders. It's the biggest sale of the year. They do things the right way every day at Colders, and they haven't raised prices on $20 million worth of stuff. They're not caving into the tariff fear. It's Colders. Best sale of the year. Check it out through Monday at West Ellis, Delafield, Oak Creek, and Grafton, or browse online at Colders.com.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
All right, let's bring in the chief. Chief meteorologist Brian Nisnansky is with us. Hello, Niz.
Yo, what's happening, guys?
Hey, do you head home for
Soggy.
dinner? Do you
What was that? I'm
sneak,
sorry.
do you sneak home for dinner?
Yeah, if the weather's quiet, I'll make it home.
Okay.
It's a longer drive. I live all the way up in Grafton, some nights I have to make it especially quick. But even if it's 20 minutes with the kids,
Yes.
I'll take it.
Here's why I ask. You ought to make it a little longer drive and swing by a Culver's on the way home. Culver's single scoops are $1 today. It's
snaps.
Thank You Scoop Day, and it's a way of raising money to give back to agricultural charities in our state. They do this every single year. $1 scoops.
FFA, Future Farmers of America.
That's hey, $1 scoops is you had me there, but then if it goes to a good cause, I'm all in.
Even the flavor
What's the flavor of the day?
Yeah, Julia,
do
what
we
is
know?
the flavor of the day? Do you
I saw
remember?
something chocolatey. I was
It's
like,
got
wow.
chocolate, root
chunks.
beer, flavored cake pieces, I think.
I thought that you were going to tell him to go to Fox and Hounds.
No, go to Culver's tonight. I mean, for $1, you can't beat that.
Yeah, tonight's Culver's. I'll meet John at Fox and Hounds this Saturday.
That's
we'll
a
get
deal.
2 for 1 steak.
Okay.
Because you're
That's a
talking about
great
the
deal.
drive, and I'm like,
That's a great deal. Are you guys, are you more of a chocolate guy or a vanilla guy?
Gosh, I'm see my kids. They get all the crazy stuff. Like they get like gummy worms and stuff
Yes.
on their ice cream. I am a butterscotch kind of guy.
Oh.
Like I like Butterfinger. Like if I got like a little candy on top, give me some of that. A caramel, that type of thing. If I had to choose vanilla with either caramel or butterscotch.
I'm a chocolate guy. Like a Kit Kat is perfect, Heath Bar. That's
Yeah,
my thing.
root beer
I mean,
floats?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, I can get down on that too. We used to make not root beer floats, but with orange soda. You ever done that with a little orange cream?
that's probably really
That sounds
good.
good. Like a dreamsicle, it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally. We have big old 2-liter of Crush at the house, and then just
That sounds fantastic. So yesterday, no, what was 2 days ago, we got done early because there was a Bucks game. I had to run some errands, and I swung by at like 5 in the evening on my way home. Michelle wasn't home yet. And I swung through the Dairy
what'd you
Queen
sneak?
drive-in and just ordered a big chocolate dipped in chocolate cone.
But those are
So
deadly.
good.
How many more times have you gone since then? It's addicting.
Not yet.
did you
are
tell her you
such
did
a
it
liar.
or no? Sneaky.
Have you gone?
Maybe. Yeah.
How do you not? That's why I
It's
stay
on my
away.
drive.
I know. I have one too, right by Oakleaf Trail in Shorewood.
So good, Niz. So good.
Yeah, I'm a splurge with grease more than sweets. But if it's in front of my face, I'm there, and if it's a good cause like tonight at Culver's, I'll be there too.
You could surprise your family. That'd be nice.
Oh, that'd be nice.
And for just a $2.
And the weather's
Down
going to
with
be
that.
quiet, so you got time. You
Yeah.
can sneak home a little longer tonight.
Yeah, I think I'm going to try tonight. Honestly, just a couple sprinkles out there this evening. However, the forecast has changed, guys, from prior forecasts for this weekend. It's not looking as nice.
Oh, give it to us. Okay, start tonight.
Yeah.
What are we looking at?
So tonight we have a little bit of drizzle, low temperature 43. Tomorrow there is a chance of some scattered showers, especially in the afternoon, but much of the day is going to end up being dry, a high 53. Now, Saturday, I think we're dry. Early in the morning, there could be a couple showers, but a high of only 52 and inland 58. Sunday, not as sunny as previous forecasts. We'll go partly cloudy with a slight chance of showers returning and a high of only 58, inland 65. And then Monday, slight chance of showers, 61 and inland 68. So not terrible this weekend.
Yeah.
But if you remember yesterday, I was going like 68 and sunny on Sunday.
Yeah.
No, I thought I was
About
going
10
to see the sun.
I know. Well, there still will be some sun. Just kind of a partly cloudy mix of clouds and sunshine sky.
You know what that means? Sunday we should all stay inside and watch golf on TV. Maybe take a little nap.
I'm on to you, man.
love my naps.
That's right up my alley, too.
On the
that
weekend?
sounds great.
Oh.
Perfect.
All right, Niz.
Instead, I'll be at 8 soccer games for my kids. No, who knows? Not that many. But
God bless
Run
you.
right out.
Yeah, and you're a good dad, so you enjoy all of them. We know.
Are they indoor?
They're outdoor. Okay. I do enjoy them. I probably enjoy them too much. Like, I am too much on the edge of my seat for
Excellent.
6-year-old soccer.
Yeah, that's good stuff. All right, Niz, have a great night. We hope you find a Culver's.
Yep, sounds good, guys. Will do.
See you tomorrow. It is 5:42 at WTMJ. Our conversation with Paul Fello up next.
A Blaine's Farm and Fleet original story.
Sarah, how are you going to do a raised vegetable garden on this tiny condo balcony?
Grab that Craftsman drill and let's hang that trellis on the ceiling.
We've got the value you need to do things your way, like $3 off assorted bio-advanced concentrates and Scott's Turf Builder Weed and Feed with 25% more lawn coverage, $59.99 after $10 rebate. Plus, find value on live plants in our outdoor garden centers, now open. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Being original.
Are you sick of not being your bank's top priority? John Mercure here. I used to be able to relate to that. Not anymore, because I'm at Town Bank, which is Wisconsin's bank. It is Town Bank through and through, where they take a different approach to banking. They really do. They're proud to be your one true banking partner focused on your unique financial goals, no matter where you are on your financial journey. And we're all at different places. Whether you're opening your first account or, hey, how about this? Opening that first account for your kids. It's a Junior Savers Club account with free, fun events. If you're buying a new home, planning for the future, starting a business, maybe selling a business, at Town Bank, they have tailored solutions to help get you there. Stop settling. Start experiencing a better way to bank at townbank.us. They've got multiple locations throughout the area. They've got a great online presence. It is Town Bank, part of the Wintrust family of community banks. Different approach. Better results. It's Town Bank. It's Wisconsin's bank. It's my bank. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. It's Town Bank.
Your home can be more maintenance-free when you rely on J&B.
This is Tom Feza. When I need information about siding, I call Scott Klein, owner of J&B Construction, provider of high-quality exterior home improvement products and services since 1958.
I'm Scott Klein. If you're tired of painting or your siding is beyond repair, it may be time to look at the advantages of a new siding system. Additional insulation, along with Tyvek's weatherization system, can significantly improve your home's energy efficiency while protecting it from water and air infiltration. We offer a variety of siding products, all installed by J&B's certified employees, which will provide decades of performance and beauty.
For a complimentary siding evaluation, call Scott at 262-437-0537 or visit jnbconstruction.com.
Your home can be more maintenance-free when you rely on J&B.
Hey, the flowers are popping, the birds are chirping, there's blue in the sky. WTMJ's John Mercure here. I host Experience Wisconsin Saturdays at 1 o'clock, and spring is popping big time in our state. Won't you join us as we check out some of the people, places, and things that make Wisconsin so super special? On this week's show, going to be a good one. We head to the Northwoods and check in with Rhinelander, and we also visit Elkhorn. It's Experience Wisconsin Saturdays at 1, the whole state from east to west, north to south on WTMJ.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee. Milwaukee Mattress, where top quality mattresses are priced hundreds less than premium national mattress brands. Found exclusively at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, and downtown Milwaukee.
You love her twice as much today as the day you married her, right?
Welcome to Kessler's.
Let's get you where we need to with our Debbie Lazaga. Hey, Deb, how are the roads right now?
Still backing up northbound 43. We did have an accident right about at Capitol Drive that had the right lane blocked. Looks like it is still blocked right about at Capitol Drive. So heads up with that. It's going to be a slow one coming out of the Marquette. On the southbound side, we got backups from Locust down through the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge. Westbound 94, just a little bit tight right through the stadium till about Mitchell Boulevard. Then it opens up. The eastbound side, you do have delays from just before 76th Street to 35th. And then delays along the bypass heading southbound from National Avenue down and around the Hale onto 894 eastbound, where there is a broken down vehicle stuck in the right lane. That's adding to your headaches there. Also delays north and southbound on 41 through those construction zones. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Earlier today, Julie and I had the chance to speak to Waukesha County Executive Paul Fello, who is waging a heroic battle against cancer. Wanted to share this conversation with you. Here's Paul Fello. We're excited to be joined by Waukesha County Executive Paul Fello. Paul, thank you so much for being with us.
Hey, John and Julie, I'm glad I could be here.
All right, we're giving you the Wisconsin Afternoon News Hero Award. You're the first recipient.
Wow.
Probably the only. Congratulations on that.
And the Gold Star Award.
Thank you so very much.
The Gold Star Award.
We're going to talk
Is that
about...
because I've had to put up with you for so long, or what?
Yeah, you should get a handful of awards, no doubt. Hey, we're going to talk about another really cool award. It's really quite an honor that you received. We'll do that coming up in a minute, but I wanted to start with your health because we hear from people all the time that want to know how you're doing. So that's the most basic question. You went through major surgery just a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
You're starting to work a little bit. How are you feeling? How are you doing?
Overall, feeling really good. Strength is slowly coming back, and the best way I can describe it is, John, you've been to our house. I have one floor, so I got a basement. I can go up and down the stairs now 3 times without getting exhausted.
Paul, you're back.
3 weeks ago, I couldn't even go up once.
Wow.
I mean, it's amazing how the body reacts to the surgery and gets through it. The biggest challenge for me right now, and I kind of chuckle every time I say it, is the GI tract. And when you think about the surgery that I had because of the cancer was in the abdomen, they took about 1/3 of my intestines out, along with everything else. And so my body's getting used to how to digest, how to get rid of stuff. And so as Amy jokes, I don't eat 3 meals a day anymore. I try to eat about 5 smaller ones. And I'm just trying to get used to it. I mean, last night I had 2 tacos and I was stuffed to the point where it hurt.
Wow.
Man, that's an
And
adjustment.
It is. It's just trying to figure it all out. The worst part about the surgery for me is just this recovery and getting through it. I mean, the 12.5 hours of surgery for me was awesome. I just slept on a table. My team, the surgical team did a phenomenal job. They got all the cancer out. We had a scan about a week ago, showed no signs of any of the cancer in my abdomen. Pathology report came back. Really good news. It was not in the lymph nodes, so it's not traveling to any other part of the body. The bigger challenge is it is what's known as goblet cell adenocarcinoma. It is one of the most aggressive abdominal GI type of cancers that there is. And so I'll be doing scans every 3 months for probably the rest of my life till we figure what's going on.
Do you feel better? Do you think that, do you feel a difference at least?
I don't know, Julie, I don't know if do I feel better. I feel pain because I have an incision that goes from the sternum past the belly button.
I bet.
And it's one where as it heals the scar tissue, I've got to keep reminding myself to hold my shoulders back, stand upright, even though it hurts, because I don't want to lurch the rest of my life.
Oh, that's a good point.
And so it's just kind of dealing with all of that and getting back into it. Side effect from it all, I've lost almost 40 pounds. I've had to buy new clothes. Nothing that I had before fits. I could tell you fun stories about trying to try suits on to go to the events that you were talking about, John. It was hilarious. So it's trying to get used to that. As my wife says, my squinty eyes are now big, wide open eyes, and she just kind of chuckles about it. I mean, we're having some fun with it along the way, but it has been great to be able to hear from people and talk to people and kind of get back into life.
Yes.
I mean, surgery was only about 6.5 weeks ago. My surgeon wanted me to stay away from the office for 8 to 12 weeks. I lasted 5.5.
Wow.
That's close.
That's amazing, actually.
We're getting there. It gives me, the energy I get from my team at the county it helps me a lot and kind of gets me back into it. I've been doing a lot of remote work for the county. We've got the budget coming up in a couple of weeks. We're going to start doing the 26 budget. So there's a lot of focus there, and my lovely wife is really working on me trying to realize I've got to rest, and it's okay to be able to just sit and let my body heal.
Paul Fello is with us on WTMJ. Full disclosure, you and I have been friends for a very long time, and our wives are friends, and you've always had a big heart, and you're a grateful person. With all that said, has going through this changed your perspective, changed how you feel about gratitude, changed you at all?
It is humbling. It is hard for me to take help.
Mm-hmm.
I am ready to, like you said, I'm ready to help everyone, but to ask for help or get help is very difficult. And I have really good friends who kind of force the issue and just stop by and drop things off and do stuff, which at times is good. Other times I'm just so tired. I don't want to talk to people. I just want to sleep. And so it's been an interesting journey for me. It has strengthened my faith in what the Lord can do and how he does it through me. And I think that's the biggest thing that I look at is how can I continue to help people that are going through the same journey? And for me, it's been incredible to find out, this happened back in August of 24. I've known 6 people now that have been diagnosed with cancer during that time.
Wow.
And it's just, again, and that's just people that I either tangentially know or people that I know. And it's incredible. At first, it's the way I described it is you buy a new car and suddenly you see that car everywhere on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to this, cancer was something other people had that I kind of knew, but now it's to the forefront. And I want to know, how can I help people? How can I get advocacy? How can I help people get through this? What can I do? So I think that's going to be a lot of my focus is not so much raising money for research, because there's a lot of people doing that. It's how do we help advocate those going through cancer to help them on their journey.
Paul Fello is with us. One way you've helped people throughout your career is by demonstrating bipartisan leadership, and you received the prestigious Tommy Thompson Award, which recognizes just that, public servants who in a bipartisan fashion make a difference. What does it mean to you to receive the award?
It was a shock. And it is incredible. Again, I use the word a lot, humbling. Governor Thompson has been a friend and is an incredible individual when it comes to really public leadership and how in the public world is a little bit different than the private world and how he can pull people together. And John, as you know, my mom is the same way. And if she were here, she should have gotten this award. And so for me to be able to get this and continue on the legacy really for me is kind of what it's all about. And the speech that I had, for me, again, it's not about me, it's about my team. Leadership is great, but you got to have people to lead. And having the people at the county and what we've done and the culture we've created there is just incredible. And I take feedback from every level to find out if we're continuing what we're supposed to be doing, if it's working, and really enjoy going into work to see people and talk to them about what's happening. And I think that's what a good leader does, is really just stay connected with their people to make sure that we're building the culture that continues to go forward, helping the residents of Waukesha County get the services they deserve.
What would your mom think of you winning this award?
First thing I say, she would probably say I should have gotten it first. You and I have talked about this. The track that my mom and I have had through the Assembly, the Senate. I joke that the reason I ran for county executive is because it's a position Mom never held. We have always had that competition. I know she would be very proud of me, and she is. I know she is, and I know my dad is.
Oh, absolutely. And there's a lot of leaders there. What did the governor say? What did the Speaker of the House say that was there? And I saw your face. You were smiling ear to ear. It was nice to see how happy you were.
It is. And I know Speaker Jensen, current Speaker Voss. I know everybody really well. And like I said, Tommy was one of the first ones to call me when I publicly came out that I had the cancer.
Paul Farrow, the Waukesha County Executive, is back at work. You're an inspiration to a lot of people, Paul. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us, and congratulations on that award and the Wisconsin Afternoon News Award.
Wow.
Thanks. I don't know which one is more impactful for me. John, I got to tell you that the Afternoon Award, I think, is above this. I really do. And everything that there's there and happens, that's it, baby. Now I've hit the peak of everything.
Now we're humbled. Hey, Paul, thank you so much.
Thanks, you guys. Have a great afternoon.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.